Hello. Oh, we have to do spooky voices because it's Halloween
Ah,
special.
ah, ah, ah.
You're gonna do something spooky there, Gav?
Oh, bad buffet.
Oh, my heart. Um, anyway, yes.
Yes, it
Obviously,
is.
we're in for some scary times ahead on this
Mm,
special Halloween. Stop being scary. On this Halloween edition of Magic, no, of
No,
Literary as FECK, that's the one.
that's the one.
And of course, it's me and Nick as always, but we've
Mhm,
got Gav on again. All right, Gav?
mhm,
Yeah.
Gav Crimson Stroke Whittaker,
mhm.
um, the butcher of Salford, who we will be hearing about in the headlines soon, but he
Hmm.
has so far evaded capture.
Hmm.
That's a perfect guest for a Halloween show, isn't
Yes.
David Lee.
it? So, yeah, so Gav's brought us another little gem here. Um,
Hmm.
a little while back. Was it actually our last Halloween show or not Halloween? Anyway, we spoke an Iowa Inferno,
Hmm.
which was just madness.
Uh-huh.
But turns out there's some more secrets in the Lucille Simmons cupboard, right?
Hmm.
So just for a yeah, there was this book called An Iowa Inferno, which see purported to be basically an unpublished novel from the 70s or something, right? By one Lucille Simmons, whose granddaughter seems to have found it and put it up. You can read it at archive.org. So, what's the story here, Gav? How did you stumble across Stripped Bare for the Mummy Monster, which
Well,
apparently is
probably just
circa 89? There's another Lucille Simmons's granddaughter discovery.
Yeah, probably just by like I can't remember what hashtag I put in, like sleaze novel or something. If you keep running things like that through the archive thing, this is what you get to.
So it was just a random thing you happened to discover.
Well, I just like I thought I was like typing in random things like sleaze novel or unpublished thing, stuff like that. Come up and another Lucille sign novel turns up.
right.
So
And the last one was being published in part those elsewhere, right? It was
Oh yeah.
right, but this one hasn't showed up anywhere else, right? It's
I
just
don't
art.
think. Yeah, this is just an archive.
wow, and of course we did speculate a little bit before our an Iowa Inferno
Hmm.
whether it was the genuine article that someone had discovered or if it was something that someone like a hoax almost.
Yes,
And
yes. Oh,
we really weren't sure, right?
no, and this does not solve those issues at all. In fact,
No,
it may even deepen my
yes,
questions about
this
the,
seems
the
more
provenance.
this seems more genuine to me, actually. There were there was a
Oh,
few
really?
little bits, but there's
Okay.
it seems I can imagine someone writing this in 1989 as
Most of it, but
yeah,
I have a few queries about specific turns of phrase and things that I wonder about, but
yes,
we'll get into it when we get to it.
yes, what the absolute fuck maybe being one of them.
That might be one of them, yeah.
That seems a bit modern, but I don't
Um,
know actually when people did start talking like that.
oh, I had to go down, wormholes, rabbit holes in the internet in order to kind of get to the like when was that term first used? Was this like
Mm.
so it's maddening at this point. And I also at a certain point while reading this, I started to think one of you two may be Lucille Simmons.
That's
To be
strangely
perfectly honest.
enough. I had exactly the same thought, but I thought it. Gav wrote this, I reckon.
Well, no, there's something about the relationship between Richard Murphy and Virgil Starkweather that seemed like it could be um, somebody with interior knowledge of how people view themselves. how men view themselves with regards to their relationships to women and so on. And then there was the
Someone
green,
saw inside your brain.
maybe a little bit. And then there was also the whole part about her green panties, which made him feel a surge of pride in his Irish
Yes,
heritage. Which you may remember that will
I
also
do. I got men. I'm taking us through it once again. Now is your chance, Gav, to fess up. Are you Lucille Simmons?
No, no,
Oh,
no. It's,
okay.
damn! I thought we might have a scoop on our hands there.
Um,
So right, okay. Well, I'm gonna feel free to jump in at any time, and we can discuss at the end. But as I did last time, I think the only way to tackle this really is just to go through it, the main
hmm.
points. So
Structurally, I'll say that the one thing it has in common with the first one is it. I mean, it's all good. It's all good from front to back. It's kind of a slow burn like the first one was, and then somewhere around the middle-ish, suddenly you get that screeching gear change where it
it goes
becomes
fucking bananas, doesn't it?
completely
Yeah.
off the rails. But the ratcheting up of the sexual tension is very similar to the first one, I think.
Yeah. Well, again,
Then adding in,
one of the things that made Iowa Inferno, m- again, we're not sure, but leaned towards it being a genuine thing, is we talked about there's a sort of obsessive returning to something again and again
yes,
and again. And there's that here, right?
peanut
Like
butter
the
sandwiches,
number of
one of them.
times, yeah, the repetitive, but again, it it seems like clinical or something, right? Rather than bad writing. It's just someone like they can't
Yes.
help themselves, I think.
Hmm.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Stripped
Okay.
Bare for the Mummy Monster by Lucille Simmons. Uh, so you've got Richard and Virgil, and there are a couple of high schoolers, right? High school boys.
Proto incels, I think, of different
yeah.
flavors,
Yeah, I
basically.
guess so. Yeah. So, and I suppose, yeah, our other main character is Slut uh, Big Chrissy, right?
Mhm.
And all the boys are quite distracted by her and her gigantic bosoms, right? So we begin with Richard and Virgil with the help of Big Bill, who is the
I'm so sorry, I should say, I'm so glad we're talking about this book of all books on what is Thanksgiving in Canada.
okay, perfect.
So yes,
Yes.
probably the single most problematic feature of the entire book is what Clive's about to talk about now.
Yes, so big. Well, I'll get to it. I'll drip feed it. We get to it, but big for the time being. Let's just say that Big Bill. That's all we know for now. Is he's
Mhm.
a Native American alcoholic stereotype, right? And we'll get into a bit more about him because there's a lot more.
I suppose he
But
becomes a bit less of a stereotype and more of a stereotype somehow at the same time as the
it's
book
very
unfolds.
strange. Anyway,
But he also works as a janitor at the
yes,
at
and
the
he's got a
school, which is
hole
important.
that goes through. Is it into? So it's a dormitory. She lives in a dormitory. Is that right? I think.
I think so.
Yeah, and there's a peephole to uh, her room, and Richard and Virgil get an eyeful because Big Chrissy, the slut, does enjoy removing her clothes and dancing around in her room, um,
Hmm.
while posters of Rod Stewart and Scott Baio
Mm.
loom.
Yes, they
Yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah.
that's
And he
what's going on
charges, which
here.
is that he charges money for this as well.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, of
you,
course,
you
yeah,
go you go to Bill and you give him some money and he lets you look through his peephole.
and
Um,
Richard, who his character goes on quite a journey in this book. At this point, is the smitten, kind of he's in love with Big Chrissy,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Whereas Virgil just wants to dominate her sexually, right? That's
Yeah.
what kind of separate.
Diabolical fantasies. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Again, one does wonder if these characters are based on me and Nick to a
You
certain
do
extent.
wonder. I worry about this.
So anyway, turns out Richard is in a bit of luck because despite being a 17-year-old, his parents who are about to go off on holiday, they insist that he has a babysitter. None other than Big Chrissy herself. So,
and his mom is the kind of woman who would never let you eat peanut butter and jam sandwiches or stay up late to watch Count Freakazoid's, horror TV show.
poor Drusilla. So there's a great scene that establishes that this is going to happen, and Richard comes down to breakfast, and Big Chrissy's at the table in this ridiculously short, like micro skirt, and his father Abraham is clearly really into Chrissy too, right? And Richard's like dropping things under the table so he can go under and peek at her panties, and Abraham's like, "Yeah, you go for it, boy." Like he's really quite
Mm.
proud. But yeah, poor Drusilla. She, the portrayal of her. This made me laugh. Her buck teeth clicked as she spoke.
Yeah.
Like she's really made out to be quite repulsive.
Her only character is Stick. Is the buck teeth and the horn ring glasses.
Yeah, that's
Pretty much.
it.
Pretty much.
That is
And
it.
that she's just not the kind of lady who would ever allow you to have a peanut butter sandwich or watch horror movies.
Yeah, I was reminded of that awesome film, no, what's it called? I was going to say Peanut Butter Solution, but that's the one where the kid loses his hair, isn't it?
I think
Is it
so.
Confessions of a Peanut Butter Freak?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Does anyone eat anything other than peanut butter sandwiches in this book? I'm not.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I think the whole town has rickets. Yeah. So as they're going, it's yeah, there's some great dialogue in this. But yes, so basically as they're leaving and Richard's figured out that his dad's into Big Chrissy as well. He's like, "Tough luck, Dad. It's my turn to sit in the easy chair now." So clearly they have like one of them lazy boys or something, and only Dad's ever allowed.
Yep.
But yeah, no. So this is his chance to get with Big Chrissy, right? So they stay up
This
late.
is all very well observed, actually. I really like this part, which is before the story really gets like back crazy, right? But this part is really well done. Like which again makes me wonder, like, if this granny who wrote this book, I realized in '89 she'd probably be in middle age, if we're like tracking her life now, right? Through these
Oh,
novels.
we're putting together her bibliography. We're gonna yeah.
Yeah. But my God, the woman has a really keen understanding of like the teenage boy mindset. Like this thing is very well observed.
Oh, it's the
I
capture in the right of mummy erotica, I think.
Because all that stuff, like it's really, I mean, it is well written in that way. It's like it's palpable, like all of that stuff of him kind of being under the blanket with her.
I
and
don't
all.
know if well written is the correct phrase, but I know what you mean. It's at least it's in there.
It works.
Right?
It works. I think it works very effectively to kind of give you the sense of him wound up to the absolute.
I get the feeling that Nick might have been babysat at a certain point in his life.
Maybe maybe this is like in some sort of fugue state. I'm blacking out and writing.
Yeah, it's like a Fight Club situation.
It could be shit. Anyway.
Yeah. And then you're just sending links to Gav as another person.
Yeah. Entirely possible at this point. Anyway, go on, Clive, with your.
Yeah, so they stay up late on the sofa watching TV horror host Count Freakazoid, who is the best going, right? As TV. He does sound pretty good, actually. I quite like the sound of Count Freakazoid. But better than that is that there's a carnival coming to town with an Egyptian mummy exhibit. And while they're there, and Richard's just kind of not doing anything really, but just like leering at her cleavage and her.
I'll say I do like that obsessed. So you talk about coming back obsessively to certain phrases or terms, right? There's like all of the stuff around like She's untamed and I'll be with her, he thought, his body buzzing with anticipation. Richard wanted to be part of her world, to share her rebellion. Like this whole
Oh
idea of
yeah,
like endlessly like she's a rebel,
that's
she's
true. Yeah, although she doesn't seem to do anything particularly
no,
rebellious.
not compared to the lead character in the Iowa, who she was a one-woman inferno of lust and doom.
An Iowa Inferno, indeed.
And
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Like she is what Chrissy kind of what he thinks Chrissy is.
right.
But yes, okay.
But she's getting obscene phone calls as well during this time, right?
Yes,
Getting obscene
yes.
phone calls. Now, turns out that the obscene are coming from Big Bill, or
Yes.
as we've learned, he's also called sometimes Big Chief Chicken Hawk because
Hmm.
Big Bill is a fag with
Hmm.
a whole stash of Tom of Finland magazines on his
Yes.
desk. And also, what I like about it's what's really strange as this continues is he's he hates white people, right? Because of course, they've stolen his people's land, but he
Mm.
kind of conflates that with his obsession about Tom of Finland style beefcake. So it's I don't know. It's like that's part of it, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
almost as if his I come from a race of ancient gay warriors,
Mm.
right? Um,
Yes.
and these white people and their obsession with bimbos is just,
Hmm.
the antithesis. It's very strange. Anyway, so Virgil has got Big Bill to make these obscene phone calls, right? I'm assuming he's probably paying him to do that as well.
Yes. Yeah.
However, Big Bill is also in possession of a medallion, and he knows Indian magic.
Hmm.
Uh, and this allows astral projection and then the possessing of objects or people or anything. It's amazing, this power. I've never seen this I suppose it's a bit like what that film Psychic Killer, right? Something like that.
It only seems to apply to like objects and animals, though, not to people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you give again the benefit of the doubt, let's say this really is written by an unhinged woman in 1989 or circa, um, then I'm thinking of things like Maximum Overdrive and,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like just like Stephen Kingy adjacent kind of like horror things, and then maybe Marshall Bravestar. I mean, when's that from? Um, you
Oh,
remember Marshall Bravestar?
I do, but yeah, he's able to. Was it bears and eagles or
Strength
something?
of the Bear and yeah, stuff of the Eagle, and yeah, he had a variety of kind of stereotypical.
Was he Native American? Surely he must have
Yes.
been. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I do
Um,
kind of remember that being on children's BBC, but I don't think I paid it much mind. It was rubbish, wasn't it? I probably.
I vaguely remember it, yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Vaguely.
but yes, I mean it's in the ether at the time.
Yes, yes. I
In
think
the
the reason
80s,
we
for
don't it didn't
sure.
have as good a theme tune as Defenders of the Earth. Defenders or something like that, right?
Um,
Anyway, we're getting
yeah.
off
Okay.
topic. There's a
Anyway,
lot to get through.
back
So
to
the
back
first
to
thing
Bill.
Big Bill possesses to show his power is he possesses a lawnmower,
Hmm.
which goes out of control and just so we get our first go. Has to be said, there's some fucking great go in this book. Like
Yes, yeah,
really
this is the one
grisly
where
go.
she does start to lean into kind of Sean Hudson
Yes.
territory, surprisingly, on top of yeah what we saw in the last book. This one definitely goes all in on
Yeah.
the goal. But
Because
again,
this
actually, speaking of
lawnmower.
Lawnmower, isn't is it the Lawnmower Man movie or is the original? No, the original story is like nothing to do with the film. But in the film, is he a janitor? The
Oh
Jeff
yeah, he
Jeff Back.
is. But he's retarded, isn't he? That's the thing, because it's a rewrite of that book I'm blank. Flowers
Oh,
for Algernon,
Dr.
right?
Algernon,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I don't think that's the term that we use now, Clive, but yes.
That's the term I use.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you know what I mean. So it's all about communication. You fucking retard. Right. So yes, a lawnmower, and it's good. It goes all the way from. You think at first it's just going to be the toes get more, but no, it goes all the way up the
His
back
ass,
spine,
yeah,
goes to the head.
his ass meat gets ground into hamburger
Yeah,
bacon. Yes.
yeah, no, brilliant. So that's good. And of course, it also means that we have our the first appearance of our cop characters.
Oh, Rowan Wade, yes.
Sam and yeah, so I got to be careful because there's a gag about this.
Yes, there is. There's
Sam and Bo, right? So
yeah. And also Rowan Wade, right, which is the
yeah,
other
yes, yes,
recurring gag of them. And then there's a Dworkin who shows up. So there's a whole bunch of weird stuff around feminism that kind of
yeah. But
gets
there is a
threaded.
fantastic bit where a passing high schooler is introduced to the car. This is Sam, and this is Bo over here, and he goes, "Oh hi, Sam Bo," and the black cop gets really angry because he thinks that's fantastic. What a great,
Yeah.
totally unnecessarily but gratuitous
But then
racism.
there was, if you remember, I do seem to remember some fairly hair-raising racism in Iowa Inferno as well. There was the biker gang and all of that
Oh yes,
in there
yes.
too.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
right.
not like Lucille Simmons is any stranger to throwing some egregious race baiting stuff in our faces. Um,
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. The whole tar baby thing in Iowa.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
See, that's much more offensive than retard.
Thanks. Yeah, yeah. You figure out some sort of scale for us, Clive, and you can share it with
Yeah,
us
I
all.
think I think
What's
if
okay and what's
yeah,
not okay. And I'll
I
just
think
steer
I'm
clear
the man to
of
do
all
it.
these
I think
guys.
I'm the man to set the rules.
You think you are a man of refined sensitivities, Clive, for sure, and
Exactly, exactly.
deep understanding and empathy for the various marginalized peoples of the earth. So yeah,
That's me. That's what
by
they
all
say about
means,
me. As
by
soon as
all
I
means,
walk in a room, they go, "God, look at him and his extreme sensitive understanding of."
it's the people's poet.
Yes,
Um,
that's
and
right. Kapow! Um. Anyway, um. Let's see. Yes. So now Virgil is very impressed by Big Bill's.
astral projecting,
Yes.
yes.
Although I don't understand why Virgil keeps hanging out with Big Bill, because Big Bill keeps trying to get him to read his Tom of Finland magazines. And
Well,
apparently later on, we find out that he keeps trying to get him to dress up as Tarzan.
yes, yes, that's weird.
And
Um,
hanging out with Big Bill seems quite expensive as well. But so you do have to
yeah.
wonder about Virgil.
But then Virgil's intense misogyny, may be masking something else, right?
Yes, so I think maybe that's yeah, I'm not sure if we're starting to psychoanalyze the writings of Lucille Simmons, I think then there might be something wrong with us. But
Mm,
so so Virgil convinces Big Bill to give him the powers
hmm
so that he can possess Big Chrissy's panties because that is where her cunt lives.
hmm
So yeah,
Yeah,
this is good stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
um so anyway, Richard's elated. Back to Richard and Chrissy because they've got a date. They're going to the carnival
hmm
and they sneak into the freak show. And this is fantastic. So uh, Big Chrissy has a rare kind of flash of wisdom at this point. And she says, so they're at the freak show and they're considering how cruel the whole idea of the freak show is. And Big Chrissy says, we could easily have been born like that ourselves. I mean, if my breasts had grown out of my back, I'd be considered a hunchback, an outcast. But since they grow out of my front, I'm considered popular and attractive. That's brilliant.
hmm
It's it's like there's other bits as well which is just like like people who don't get Ed Wood, they just think, oh, he's rubbish, or they don't know, and they don't understand. No, what's interesting about Ed Wood is he has his own way of kind of looking at the world and expressing things uniquely Ed Woodian thing. Lucille Simmons has this touch, I think. Like, that's not necessarily just bad. It's like, oh, I don't know what to do with that. But yeah.
Yeah, actually, now that you bring all of this up, it makes. Has anyone alerted John Waters to the existence of these two books? Because I have a funny feeling that John Waters would probably get along quite well with this, regardless of its provenance.
Well, I'm
Um,
thinking one last film he should make Stripped Bare for the Mummy Monster, because this is very cinematic.
yeah.
So at
Hmm.
the Freak Show Carnival, well, I don't know. I suppose it's they've got into the. I don't know. Is the Egyptian exhibit in the Freak Show? Because they seem to
I
be in the
think
Freak
so.
Show, and yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's the
We
fallen.
should remind ourselves all the time that this is going on. Virgil, trapped in the fabric, reveled in her
Yes,
arousal. His soul kissing and licking her wetness was his triumph over Richard.
that's right. Um, so they finally find
Because I like
the
it, you actually
fall.
occasionally lose track of that when you're reading the book, and then you're like,
Yeah,
oh
no,
my,
you keeps coming
her
back. Yeah, oh,
panties
yeah,
are
yeah.
possessed right now by a misogynist.
So they find the fallen king, Barbaran.
Yes, fuck. Yes, Barbaran, yes. I'm
Yes.
sure we're supposed to take all of this very seriously.
And it turns out, this is a new revelation, that Crystal has always been attracted to Egyptian mummies,
Oh,
uh,
yes, yes.
because they're the
Oh, I
manliest of
wonder
men. Hmm.
if that's a lift from anywhere. That's probably, I just realizing that that's probably a lift from what's her face in uh Return of the Living Dead. Remember she has the
Linnea
whole
Quigley.
yeah, she has a whole monologue about being molested and torn apart by like filthy old men while she kind of masturbates.
Really?
And yeah, yeah. It's like it's they're in the graveyard. He sits down and she's talking to one of the other punks, and she does a whole bit about how it's always
Oh,
been her fantasy to be torn apart by a gang of like filthy old mad homeless kind of people, and then it ends up being
oh, I have to watch
savage
Return of the
later
Living
on.
Dead again.
That's a great film anyway.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
yeah, um, hmm. Okay, anyway,
But
go on.
but anyway, of Barbaran,
Mhm.
his soul rarely awoke from slumber these days. Rather like Howard Hughes and Marlon Brando, he had
Mhm.
grown contemptuous of a world that looked upon him as a sideshow attraction. So some more fantastic Lucille Simmons references there.
Yes, yes. Although again, 89, it has Brando fully retreat. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe.
don't forget earlier as well. We have had we have had some Rod Stewart and Scott Bio action as well. So we're really
Yeah.
racking up
Then
the
it gets a lot of mention.
celebrity.
Bo Derek gets a lot of mention in this one as well.
Oh yeah, I'll mention Bo Derek later on because there's a
Yes.
great line of dialogue with. And I do wonder how John Derek would have felt about being compared to an
A
old mummy.
purple drooling mummy monster, yes.
So it also turns out that Crystal is the reincarnation of Barbaran's lost love,
Chryseus,
Chrysius, I guess.
Chryseus, something like
Chrysius.
that.
Um, yes, and so he also manages to pull Virgil's soul, I guess, or whatever, out. He sucks it out of Big Chris's
Ah,
panties,
panties,
and that's
yes.
how he comes back to life, I suppose.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, right, yes. And that causes the real Virgil, who is strapped to a chair jerking off back in Big Bill's office,
Yes.
die then, right? Causing a
Yes.
hassle for Big Bill, who out now to deal
Well,
with the corpse.
Big Bill has something to say about this. Big
Hmm.
Bill says, throwing your life away for that bimbo, just to live as her panties and tongue her crotch, the white man's burden.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yes,
Thanks, Lucille.
fantastic. I do like the idea of Big Bill rocking up to some kind of, meeting or something, about Native American rights, and everyone's kind of, raising different kinds of issues. And Big Bill's there, like, there's one issue we haven't addressed. the white man's obsession with these bimbos. Now, if you take a look at these Tom of Finland magazines that I've got, I think you'll find that our people were once a brave race of like, yeah, fantastic. So we also
should
get
also
our first go
we
scene
shouldn't,
now as well,
I
right?
said, we shouldn't forget, have they not run into Mandy and Pandy?
Not they might have done, but
I think they did at the carnival. They're there, and they kind of they make Richard feel a little bit uncomfortable and unsure of himself.
yeah,
And
because they seem to be always in their cheerleader outfits, right?
yes,
And they're twins.
yes.
For some reason, I was thinking, even though they don't have the California Valley Girl speak, I was imagining um, Pat Sharp's co-hosts from Funhouse,
Right.
whatever they were called. I can't remember.
But I mean, they kind of do. They kind of do have that a little bit of that. I think that sing-songy California girl thing going on.
Oh, in Funhouse.
No, in the book.
Oh, what do you mean? They kind of have it
Oh
going
yeah,
on.
right.
That's their entire
I was confused. I
characterization.
was confused as to why. I thought you were saying they didn't, and I was like, what?
No,
Yeah.
I was talking about the girls of Funhouse.
Yes, fine. Yes.
Prizes to be won. It's a whole lot of fun. It's a real crazy show where anything goes. Anyway, yes. So, and the mummy comes back to life, right? So we get our first kind of mummy kill, where you rip someone's brains out and their eyeballs pop out, and that's all good. Like I said, the gore is first class gore.
Yes.
It up from Iowa Inferno, didn't it?
Yes, if there was anything missing in Iowa Inferno, it might have been not quite enough gore, right? So Big Bill's on the scene and he's like, oh no, I've got this dead kid in my office. So obviously the only thing to do is to cut him up with a chainsaw, like then and there. I just no one will notice the chainsaw noises in the middle of the night. In fact, at some point, doesn't even someone interrupt and say, like, Big Bill, I'm just leaving now, lock the door. And he said, oh, okay. Yeah, great stuff. So he does that. So he's done that. He's got to he's decided to throw the remains. So he goes to the carnival to do that, right? Because he thinks that's a brilliant plan because the cops will think it was like a bearded woman or a dwarf or something that did it.
Yes. Has he taken off the gimp suit at this point? Because that's another thing does he not put on a gimp suit?
He does when Virgil's under, yeah.
Yes, in the panty astral projection. Because that was one of the things I had to look up. I was like, when did the term gimp suit, like, does it actually?
I think that's pretty old, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. So I ended up spending way too much time on the
Looking
internet
up gimp suits.
trying to figure out trying to figure, which is great. Yeah, you can imagine my targeted ads at Facebook now are very disturbing. But yeah, no.
Best of Tom of Finland annual 2026.
This is where I started to get really paranoid. In fact, that someone's putting me on with this whole thing, right? Because as I'm digging in to try to figure out, well, okay, because several sites are saying it's predominantly post. What's the
fiction.
Oh, fiction, yeah. That the term gimp suit doesn't have much of an etymology before that.
I think.
But others are saying, yeah, no, you go back to the 70s and it's in porn mags and stuff. But every time somebody would correct somebody else for saying, oh no, it comes from that, the next follow-up we will, can anyone actually show us like a screen cap or anything? And there's never any evidence. It's always somebody's word that says, oh no, this term was definitely around, but there's never, I can't find any piece of actual evidence, like dates from the 70s or the 80s of it being used.
I just seem to remember when the gimp suit turned up in Pulp Fiction, it wasn't like, I've never heard of that before. It was something that was familiar.
But the bondage, bondage suit is definitely a term that's used in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. But I think gimp suit would have been an old phrase. I think it's probably older than people think. I don't know, but yeah.
As I said, I spend hours trying to get to the bottom of this and could not
find
definitive proof.
It's fucking hell, and you complain all the time about I don't have time.
Well,
And then
hours
you
is
go and
probably
do
an
that on
exaggeration. I spent minutes. I spent minutes, Clive, on the Reddit subforum for
I
GIMP suits.
drove 5 hours to the GIMP museum
Yes, of Nova Scotia.
So anyway, so he's out and about, and yes, we definitely come across Mandy and Pandy here, the cheerleaders, because they appear out of nowhere to give him a hot dog to
Yeah.
to apologize for his land stolen by the white man, right?
Yeah.
And he gets an axe out and he's about to go and kill Mandy and Pandy, but their screams, luckily, they interrupt Bobo the clown, who's taking a piss nearby, and he's what now? And he just runs to the scene with his rather impressive penis flapping about, apparently.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and then yes, Big Bill throws like a tomahawk into his head, basically. So we've got another kill. Luckily, Mandy and Pandy are saved. Bobo the clown's dead, and then we have another crime scene where Sam and Bo turn up and talk about the dead clown with his cock hanging out. And some other character comes along and the cops shoo him away and he says something along those lines. Oh, I wanted to see the dead clown with his cock hanging out. Yeah, brilliant set piece. Anyway, right, so we go back to Richard and Chrissy. Richard's still doing nothing, just kind of
vibrating with
yeah.
anticipation and intensity. Yes.
And yes, and this is when we discover that Chrissy has changed into some lime green panties. To which
yes.
I mean, did you write this? I'm feeling you should probably read this if you wrote it down, but I wrote down Richard's quote. As a person of Irish descent, Richard especially approved of her new panties, the colour of the Emerald Isle. Underneath these covers, Irish eyes were smiling.
Yep. Total madness.
Great stuff. Also, while the mummy is so we're cutting back and forth, but the mummy's been about at the fair. He has released a bear from captivity as well, which is quite important.
Oh yes, yes he has. Yes.
Meanwhile, back to there's some other jock characters, right? One of them got cut up by a lawnmower, but there's another couple of them.
Yeah, and they've been bullying Bill, so this explains his.
Yeah, so one of them is deciding he needs to pop his cherry, so he's going to visit Arabella, the blind whore who lives in the forest.
Who is always referred to in that full sentence. Every time she's given in the book, she's always referred to as Arabella, the blind whore who lives in the forest. No matter how awkward that is, it's fantastic. I
was wondering if it might be if there's a universe at work here, if it's one of the characters. Wasn't there a character in Iowa Inferno who lived out in the forest or something?
Yeah, one of the forest, yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So, also, I mean, we cut back, and it turns out Pandy and Mandy are into each other.
Oh, yes.
And they get it on, and not only that, they are also reincarnations of Barbaran's lesbian warriors.
Yes.
So that's handy. So Big Bill. So at this point, I don't understand what's going on with Big Bill. Is he just randomly killing any white people? Because for some reason, he really wants to kill the jock characters, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think
because they called him Big Bear Chicken Hawk.
Yeah, I think it's because they've been racist, homophobes to him. So he.
Okay. And they're throwing rocks at him as well. Yeah, remember that they're throwing rocks.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. yeah. So he possesses the bear, which is on the loose. So then when the Jock character goes to Arabella the blind whore who lives in the forest, he attacks, right? And yes, so and then he's killed, but his cock is left inside Arabella the blind whore who lives in the forest. That's a reveal.
Mhm.
And then of course you get the Sam and Bo turn up again, and they very important. They say, don't forget, this guy's a triple threat: a killer, an Indian, and a faggot. So
Mhm.
look out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Immediately before that, they were saying about just as well the people are a lot less bigoted these days as well.
Yes, yes. Yes. Hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because when the black cop as well has this whole thing about never turn your back on
On a
Whitey
cracker.
or
On a
on a
cracker,
cracker.
actually.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
yeah. So we move into the drive-in section of the of
Hmm.
the of the book now, because there's Tourist Death Massacre Part 4 is
Hmm.
premiering at the local drive-in, the Roxy. None other than Count Freakazoid himself, who's
Hmm.
the best going, don't forget. He's going to be there introducing. Yeah. So but the bear turns up. And this is bear killing characters, including Old Crappy, who's the character we're introduced to and immediately is killed.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I mean,
It's a
try to
shame.
shoot a medic through the eyes are all crappy, and then he's just killed.
I
It's
said,
a shame. I liked Old Crappy, and then we get a whole backstory about how he
Mhm.
might have murdered his wife. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering if there's an Old Crappy novel, Lucille
It'll,
Simmons.
I'm sure it'll show up after you've brought it up now.
Now that I've mentioned it,
Yes.
Gav will be scurrying away to his typewriter.
Yeah, did we mention the fact that the jock character who goes to have sex with Arabella, the blind hooker who lives in the forest,
Yes.
that his dick is somehow swiped off by the bear and is left trapped in
Yes, I
her.
did mention it
Oh, you
briefly.
did? Okay,
Sorry, I
sorry.
might have gone over it too quickly. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
no, but it's
Um,
left in there, yeah. And this
yeah.
causes one of the cops to throw up as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, uh, ev eventually the bear is killed, and
Mhm.
Big Bill's in the forest, his body's in the forest, his head explodes.
Yep.
Because that's what happens apparently when,
Hmm.
yeah. But also there's a car is the bear somehow, I can't remember exactly the ins and outs, but basically there's a car crash,
Oh, yes.
and it's Richard's parents
Yeah.
on their
Who
way
he
back.
has, we haven't mentioned. He has been hoping that they will die in a car crash multiple times across the book,
Yeah,
seeding this
because
sort of.
obviously the law will then say, Big Chrissy, you will now be his legal guardian.
Yes, his MILF. That's
Yeah.
what she will be. She will be his legal MILF.
But anyway,
Um,
there's a bit of sensitivity here because obviously, when the cop says, tough break, kid, your parents dying in a car crash, and so soon after your best friend got carved up by a chainsaw.
mhm.
Um, Now it's time, finally, after all this simpering, Richard finally decides to confess his love
Mhm.
to Chrissy, right? Which basically involves trying to molest her tits while
Well, it
she's
also
vomiting.
involves admitting to her that he's one of the creeps who's being after she's just found out that dudes have been peeping and wanking
Yes,
at
yes,
her naked gyration. So he chooses this is the best time to let her
yes.
know,
Now
look at
I'll,
the guys.
yes.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so he turns full psycho at this point, um, and tries to run after her. But luckily, the mummy turns up, and the mummy's old man, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
I guess yeah, the mummy and Chrissy reunite, and yes, at this point, Chrissy does exclaim, "I guess I know now what it must feel like to be poor Derek, to be hanging around with a desiccated old wrinkly man. So yes, I don't think John Derek would have liked this comparison.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
And they escape on a
Yes.
speedboat. Richard is killed by Sam,
Yep.
and Mandy and Pandy are going to be celebrities,
Yep.
and
And
kind of a happy
they've killed a
end.
few people themselves as the book goes on, right? They do really become.
Oh
his,
yeah, we forgot to mention they did. Yeah, they one of the
lopping people's
dock
arms off with
towards the
axes and
drive-in.
stuff.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
strangle him while he's getting a blowjob.
Yeah.
Well then, what a read.
Yeah. 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 I have many questions, as I said.
Okay,
I
take it
think.
away in terms
Well,
of. For me, there was less. Like I'm more likely to be. Iowa Inferno had a few more things that seemed a bit out of character. I think that's because that was apparently from the 70s, right? This
yes.
being 89, most of it tracked as being authentic. But then again,
Right.
if it is a hoax, whoever is Lucille Simmons is maybe just getting better.
Right. I get things obviously I mentioned before. The gimp suit was one slight question mark. Another one was the use of sleigh. At one point, the one of the Mandy or Pandy uses sleigh in that kind of Yas Queen sort of drag way that it's used now a lot. Like it's used a lot by teenagers, or it has been in the last, say, 5 years. And I
You're
don't
gonna have to get me up to speed here, Nick.
I
What is
don't
a Yas Queen?
I just I don't have time to fill you in on 25 years of slang, Clive. But no, just Google slay, for example, right? As like a meaning like in a positive way. And it is
Oh, like you slay.
yes, yeah. And I don't know how 80s or even early 90s, as I said, it's unless it's come back, which it may have, but if it would have been threaded pretty deep in the culture. So again, but then
Well, clearly Lucille Simmons is plugged into all the.
it does seem to be. I mean, yes, she was doing Cthulhu and stuff in the 70s. So
Unless the granddaughter like threw that bit in or something. I don't know.
this is true. Okay, yes, you're right. If yes, because this is obviously this is a retyped because this comes up in this time that it has been formatted for us. So yeah, maybe it's a collaboration between Jill and her granddaughter. She's punching up the text a little bit, making it a bit more. Um,
How about you,
so
Gav? Do you have any kind of suspicions or anything in regards to the authenticity of the manuscript?
There's just so much weirdness that goes up on archives. So I don't
right.
know.
But I mean, at the same point, it almost doesn't matter, right?
No,
I mean,
what we were saying with Iowa Inferno, right? Even if it is a
yes,
hoax, it's a fine hoax. So
yes, it's very, very readable. Like it almost reads itself. I think there was one moment that I really liked, and it's a very it does lean into the idea of like of the sense of humor being intentional in the book, as opposed to unintentional. Right? I don't think
yeah.
I think that whoever Lucille is, I think she intends for portions
Oh
of the book.
yeah, the tongue is definitely in cheek.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's this that's
Oh, the mummy bad, you know.
yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
yes. But there's a scene where Mandy and Pandy, that's a scene of Bobo the clown is lying there, dick flapping out, and Sam and Bo are there, right? And Bo flashed a tight smile. Call me Bo. Mandy's eyes lit up. As in like Bo Derek in 10? So gorge. Pandy giggled. Or like Bo Duke from Dukes of Hazzard. Total hottie. They then burst into the Dukes of Hazzard theme song, harmonizing. Just them
Yes.
girl boys, never meaning no harm. Bo cut them off, his voice firm. Ladies, please, this is serious. A clown died tonight. And I actually laughed out loud.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Also, I was a huge fan of Dukes of Hazzard as a child as well. So I always liked.
Once again, so somebody who knows you, Clive, very easily be tailoring. As I was saying off air a second ago, this is going to end with the three of us just sitting silently staring at each other like the end of The Thing, where all of us is wondering,
Yeah, we have to
which
take
one of us
like
is Lucille?
like that scene with the petri dish. There's got to be a way that, and then finally one of us like transforms into Lucille Simmons.
Lucille, and goes on a bear rampage, ripping people's dicks off, and the rest of it.
But anyway, I mean, yeah, thank you once again, Gav, for bringing this to our attention.
Hmm.
I'm wondering how many, because obviously the previous book had been mentioned in that online fanzine and stuff. So a few, but you kind of just stumbled across this by yourself, and you did put a link on Facebook, and obviously we jumped on it, and now this will go up. So the handful of people who see this, but how many other people are even aware that this thing exists?
Yeah, I don't know. And that I only fair got about 200 hits, so I assume there must be some people who are reading these things.
Yeah, I mean, IO Inferno, I mean, strikes me as if it's the kind of thing that someone should, they should publish it, right? Someone should put it out there in an edition you can hold in your hands, maybe with illustrations. And I wonder how much else might be floating about out there.
Well, yes. Well, I mean, give Lucille time to write new ones.
Yes.
That can be found, wedged under tea chests and the like.
Yeah, it'd be
Uh,
fascinating. It might turn out that she was actually writing as early as the 1960s or something, so we might get to
Yeah.
see something from that era.
I mean, if she was a real person, and given the kind of mania of the writing, it's hard to imagine she wasn't constantly writing. You know
Well,
that,
that's the thing, because it's not as
right?
if there's not a huge amount of difference between Iowa Inferno and Mummy,
Mhm.
right? So yeah, I like to think as well that in between there's like at least 50 other novels or
Yep.
something. And it's just obsessively going
Yeah.
over similar, and it just slowly morphs, right, over
Mhm.
the years, and it kind of tracks with trends of the era,
Mhm. The
right?
moment, yes.
Wouldn't that
Yeah.
be great if that turned out to be the case? And she's a real person,
Hmm.
and her grandmother, her granddaughter, one day, I don't know, goes to some family home or something no one's been to it, and opens a cupboard, and there's just like a stack of
Of
manuscripts.
manuscripts. Yep. Yeah,
That
I,
would keep
I,
us busy for a while.
and you can imagine, like, yeah, each time she was inspired by something, like she watched an episode of like Bionic Woman and was like, oh yeah, okay, and then she hammers out her version of that, or yeah, whatever's in the zeitgeist, right?
Yeah, like a really, really pervy version of Knight Rider or something. Or
Mm, yeah.
yeah. Well, we'll see. Gav, you got your work cut out.
Yeah,
Get to work.
I keep typing in typing in the archive.
Yeah, yeah. Just I don't know, every month or something. Just Lucille Simmons and see if anything new pops up.
Yes, yeah. Keep us appraised, keep us abreast of any developments in the Lucille, you know,
Yeah, and whoever you are, hoaxed
canon.
or not, I mean, fair play.
Yes,
Great,
Lucille.
great work.
Lucille, wherever you are,
Yeah.
if you're beyond this world, thank you. If you're still with us,
Well, she
thank you.
might come back as Barbara Ann.
This is true.
Barbara Ann. Right. All right then. Let's bugger off.
Hmm.
Cheerio.
Toodaloo.